Good morning. It's Monday the 11th of March 2024 and today I'm in the Wye Valley and Forest of Dean. How are we doing? Oh, it's so great to be back in the Wye Valley and Forest of Dean, my favourite place. It's a bit grey and murky at the moment, but I know I am going to have a wonderful time. So today's walk starts here in Lydbrook, or should I say, Lower Lydbrook. Imagine it is 1880. An enormous viaduct looms in front of you. It is 90 feet high and carries the Severn Wye and Severn Bridge Railway across the Lydbrook Valley. This is no sleepy forest village. Lydbrook, where river, road and railway meet, is an industrial hub. From the riverbank, I walked up the main road to pass the Forge Hammer Inn. So just up there in the trees is the remains of part of the viaduct. So the viaduct would have literally have come right above where I'm standing now. There's not much to see now, but it's interesting all the same. Okay, let's just carry on through Lower Lydbrook and I'll start the walk properly. I soon reached a junction where I turned right to follow Probert's Lane to climb up a steep path out of the valley. In less than half a mile, at a T-junction, I continued straight ahead to follow a track into a wood. I can hear a road ahead. Just climbing up here, and when I reach the road up there, I'll be in the next village. Emerging onto the main road, I followed it south as far as a footpath sign on the right to enter fields. I had now reached the village of English Bicknor. The village church, the hub of any village. Got some notes here. The Church of St Mary, high above the Wye Valley, boasts some intriguing 14th century stone figures of females, one of them holding a round object that is thought by some to be a heart, by others an egg. Just by the church can be seen the earthworks of a Norman Motte and Bailey castle. Lovely. Right. Let's see if I can get inside the church. Yes. Oh, fantastic. It's always a bonus when I can go inside a church. Right, let's have a look round then. Beautiful. As I've said before, I'm not religious, but I absolutely love churches. So whenever I can, I always try to get inside one that I come across. Situated on the westerly edge of the Forest of Dean and lying within the Wye Valley area of outstanding natural beauty, the village of English Bicknor is steeped in the history of this fascinating area and offer the residents and visitors a vast range of activities and landscapes. Here, the River Wye separates English Bicknor in Gloucestershire from Welsh Bicknor, which is now in Herefordshire. The name Bicknor may mean Bicker's Ridge, or just that the settlements are over and above the river. I turned right to drop down Church Hill, with views across the valley to East Batch Farm and East Batch Court. At the bottom of the hill, I left the lane to climb a stile on the right. Those of you that have been following my films for some years now will know that the Wye Valley and Forest of Dean is my absolute favourite place, and it is absolutely wonderful to be back here today. So, I think before I go on, there's something I need to explain really. Now, you've got the Wye Valley area of outstanding natural beauty. Now, as of last year, all of Britain's designated areas of outstanding natural beauties have been renamed. They are now called national landscapes. So the Wye Valley is now called the Wye Valley National Landscape. Much easier to say, I must admit. So yeah, you've got that, and you've got the Forest of Dean. Now, if you were to Google either the Wye Valley or the Forest of Dean, more often than not, the search results will actually take you to a tourism site that covers both areas. Because to be fair, you know, tourism does actually say the Wye Valley and Forest of Dean because the two areas in many places do merge with each other. And today's walk, for example, falls within both the Wye Valley National Landscape and the Forest of Dean. A bit later on, part of the walk that I'm doing will actually just be within the Forest of Dean, but yeah, most of today's walk is in both areas. So when I have always said to people the Forest of Dean is my favourite place, it's really the Wye Valley and Forest of Dean that's my favourite place. So, as I say, as a whole area, it really is an unsurpassable part of the UK. And as I've said before, time and time again, it is wonderful to be back here today. I've got a week here. I'm staying in a Premier Inn I've stayed in before. So I'm looking forward to checking in there later. The weather's not looking great for this week. It's very grey today, but at the moment so far it's not rained, which is good. But I don't mind if it rains a little bit. I can live with that. It's only if it's sort of chucking it down with rain constantly that'll sort of put pay to my plans really, but I'll just have to see how it goes. Whenever I look on the BBC website of the BBC weather, every day is different, so it probably says grey for tomorrow if I look today, but if I look in the morning it'll have changed again, so who knows. But whatever, I am going to have a wonderful few days here in the wonderful Wye Valley and Forest of Dean. At the next junction, I turned left to climb another stile, soon turning sharp right to head west. So I think that cluster of houses on the top there, I think that's Joyford. And over there, I think that's Nine Wells. Yeah. And I'm going over this way. There's another settlement I'm just approaching. And then I should be having some din-dins because I'm hungry. I turned left along a path across more fields, now heading southeast. Making for the woodland ahead of me, I soon reached a very muddy path. So I've now arrived at Edge End. I've had my lunch and I'm just over halfway through the walk. So now, I've just got to make my way back towards Lydbrook. Wow, this brings back memories. Wow. These yellow arrows painted on trees. They've been on those trees for years. I mean, you can tell they're old. They're still there, they've not been taken off. I mean, I think probably the route's been superseded by better way marking, but it's still really nice to see these old painted arrows. So yeah, well, I've done this route before, a long time ago, but this part of the route now, literally, all I have to do is follow the yellow arrows all the way back. The yellow arrows led me across a lane and through the delightful Hangerberry enclosure. The path is starting to descend now as I slowly make my way back towards Lydbrook. But one thing else I must mention today, today's walk is also the first time that I've used my new Sony 4K camcorder, as well as the new external microphone that I bought to go with it. I know I did a trial run a few weeks ago back home, but I don't really count that, because that literally was just a trial run and I wasn't making one of my proper films. But today, this is the first of my proper films that I'm recording with my new camera, as well as the tripod, because I've not used it with a tripod before, so it's all exciting stuff. In about 3/4 of a mile, I started to descend more steeply, as my path exited the woods to drop down to a lane. This really does bring back some wonderful memories for me. Oh, I can remember this part. Yeah, I think I first did this route over 40 years ago, so I think it was 1983, so more like 41 years. Wow. But yeah, it's all coming back to me now. I remember it very well. It feels a bit different because obviously I'm 40 years older, but yeah, it's still as I remember it. And it's still wonderful to be back. What I remember about this particular route I'm doing now is all the wonderful views you get into Upper Lydbrook. Isn't that just fantastic? Well, when the trees aren't in the way. Yeah, but generally you've got wonderful views over the valley there. That is just absolutely wonderful. The lane ended and had become a narrow path, which I followed through more woodland, with occasional views into the valley below. Eventually, the path emerged from the wood, providing wonderful views over Lower Lydbrook. Absolutely wonderful. Today's walk just gets better and better. Always remember these views over Lydbrook. That's why I wanted to do this route today. The first half of today's walk I've not actually done before, but I wanted to do a walk to English Bicknor, and then from there I could go on to Edge End and do the old route that I did years ago back to Lydbrook, and it's been wonderful. Say, I just remember these views, and you don't forget, but you know, when you sort of revisit after so long, you just think, wow, you can never get tired of views like this. Okay, well, it's my first visit back to the Wye Valley in Forest of Dean today after 6 years nearly. I've got a few more days in the area, looking forward to that. So hopefully the weather will stay alright for me, even if it stays grey like it's been today. I don't mind that, but we'll see how it goes. But whatever. Any time spent in the Wye Valley in Forest of Dean will always be fantastic. I continued on the path across the field, soon dropping steeply to the B4234, which I followed back to the riverside. Well, it seems only right that I end my walk beside the River Wye. Lovely. Yep, and it's been a really nice walk today in Lydbrook. Another wonderful walk in the wonderful Wye Valley and Forest of Dean. Okay, well, I'm now going to go and check in at my Premier Inn. I'm staying at the Premier Inn in Monmouth. Been there before. Okay, until next time then.